4 steps related to forgiving someone, and these are just some keys to consider in the process. Bind and cast out evil spirits. When there is an issue, and this is just something I have found helpful myself, if you've ever seen the voice and it just keeps talking to you and saying the thing you're having trouble forgiving, have you seen that? Like let's say someone said something critical to you, and you just hear it over and over in your head. And you want to get it out of your head. But you don't want to kick the person out of your head. Let's say they're a fellow believer. Maybe you're married to them, I mean, you don't want... So it's like, what do I do with this? Because I don't want this part, but I don't want to just reject the person, and so what do I do? So these steps are specifically related to that. There's evil behind many things that go on. And so when this voice is, speaking the same critical word to me over and over, there's demonic agenda going on. And I feel really good about casting that out. I have no hesitation to say, let's get rid of that. Then there's forgiving the sin, or there may be the, compassion on the woundedness. And that's sort of a release and a softening. And then there's receiving the person. And that, to qualify there, I would say the person as God intends them to become. That kernel of who, or maybe that's not the right way to say it, who did God create that person to be? There's all people are created in the image of God. So what about the kernel of that person? Yeah, I want to receive that core. Yeah, thank you. The intrinsic value of the person. And so if I split it out into those 3 parts, it helps me a lot. Bind the evil, forgive the sin, compassion on the woundedness, receive the person for their intrinsic value. And then pray a blessing on them. So, and that's in addition to the other things I just said. And these aren't the keys, but these are just things I found helpful when that voice is there. Common reasons people have trouble forgiving someone. If I forgive, it means what happened is okay. I call these rubber bands, and here's my little illustration. I'm not very good at this, but let's say that I want to forgive, and this is what I need to forgive right here, okay, on this balloon. So, I'm going to forgive this person, all right? Watch. Did it work? I'm going to try again. Not yet. Well, let's try again. Some more. Okay, I forgive. It's not working. What's wrong? I don't know what's wrong. Okay, this is what I call the rubber band. In this case, it's not a rubber band, but sometimes I use a paddle ball. If I forgive, it means what happens okay. So I feel like I can't let go. I'm trying, but something is holding me back. Something's pulling it back. Or it could happen again. So I feel like I can't. Or a desire for revenge, or a desire to punish them, or self-protection of some kind. There could be others. These are just some examples. But that really helps, because when I'm praying with somebody, and we'll go here into the basic steps, the first thing would be identifying anyone you've not yet forgiven and any offenses. So then you're looking at one person at a time, and what offenses am I ready to release? Maybe there's a group of those. Great. Maybe there's some I'm not aware of, and I'll be aware of at a later point in time. There may be some more work to do later on. But I know for me, there's that initial, sometimes, I can forgive this person, and if more comes up, there's that sort of general, I've chosen to forgive this person going on. But anyway, what are those offenses? And then see if you're able to fully give each item to Jesus. I think we expect ourselves, we feel like we have to, but it's not necessarily going to our hearts. So see if we're able at a heart level to really release that. And if we're not, ask God why. So number 3, work through any root issues, that any of those rubber bands. And then release the items to Jesus and pray the blessing on the person. And so that's just really helpful to as I'm praying with somebody, well, are you ready to release? And if not, that's okay. That's just what we want to pray about next. So the keys would be binding and casting out evil spirits, forgiving the person, include praying through any rubber bands, which is that additional thing I had, receiving the intrinsic value of the person and blessing them. Are there any questions? Jim?
Is the blessing supposed to be the person who you're praying for, blessing the person? It's not supposed to be, if I'm praying for somebody who's having trouble with forgiveness and they forgive them, it's the recipient, the prayer recipient who's supposed to be praying the blessing on the person they've forgiven.
Yes, that's what it is. And that's one of those examples when that person is praying directly to God, for sure. Yeah.